Until now we were learning about the tissues, and that too we learned about the types of tissues based on the types of cells present in them, right? So we saw that permanent tissue consists of simple simple tissues, and also the complex tissue, and we learned what are the simpler forms of that. That is what is the simple tissue made up of, endelam type of elements aanulladenu padichu, and we learned what are the different types of meristems and all those things. So we have studied about types of tissues based on the type of cells present in them. Avaril endu type of cell aano ulladu adanusaриച്ച് we have studied it. Let us now consider how tissues vary depending on their location in their plant body. So another easy way to learn about the anatomy is to study about the tissues varying depending on their location on the plant body. Plant location, plant in the body parts വെച്ചിട്ട് എവിടെയാണോ ഏത് tissues ആണോ ഉള്ളത് അത് ബേസ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് we can study easily. Okay, so other than studying the cells, it is better to study the tissues which vary depending on the location of the plant body. Okay, and their structure and function would be dependent on the location. How will be how will be the function of these tissues? It will be based upon the structure and function. Okay, അവിടെയുള്ള സ്ട്രക്ചറും ഫങ്ഷൻസും ബേസ് ആ ടിഷ്യൂ ചെയ്യുന്ന സ്ട്രക്ചറും ഫങ്ഷനും ബേസ് ചെയ്തിട്ടായിരിക്കും they will be present in the plant body, right? So on the basis of their structure and location, there are 3 types of tissue system. Clear, children? So we now studied about the types of tissues based on types of cells present in them, right? And let us now consider how tissues vary depending on the location in the plant body. Plant body la evideyano avarullathu adu base cheyidittu we can divide them. Okay, and when you divide them, their structure and function would be dependent on location. Okay, avarendu work aano cheyyunnathu that will depend on the location of the plant. Location means the different parts of the plant, right? So on the basis of their structure and location, tissues are of 3 types, right? So there are 3 types of tissue systems. Okay, so tissue systems എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ കംപ്ലീറ്റ് ആയിട്ട് ആ ഒരു പർട്ടിക്കുലർ പാർട്ടിൽ കാണുന്ന എല്ലാ ടിഷ്യൂസും. Okay, we can divide it into, that is plant ബോഡിയിൽ കാണുന്ന എല്ലാ ടിഷ്യൂസും we can divide into 3 tissue systems. Okay, so based on their structure and location, അവരുടെ രൂപം അതുപോലെ അവരെവിടെ ഉണ്ട് അത് ബേസ് ചെയ്ത് their tissue systems are divided into 3 types. These are epidermal tissue system, ground or the fundamental tissue system, and vascular conducting tissue system. Okay, so we studied a little part of this vascular conducting or conducting tissue system, xylem phloem na kurichu padichana. Now we will be learning in more detail about this vascular tissue system depending upon their structure and location. Okay, അവരെവിടെയുള്ളത് അത് ബേസ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് വിൽ ബി ലേണിംഗ് അബൌട്ട് ദ സ്ട്രക്ചർ ആൻഡ് ഹൗ ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് അറേഞ്ച്ഡ് ഇൻ ദ plant cell. Okay, so now let us move on to the topic, children. So let us first learn about epidermal tissue system. Okay, so this tissue system, it forms the outermost covering of the whole plant body. മൊത്തമായിട്ട് ഒരു പ്ലാന്റ് എടുത്താൽ യു ക്യാൻ ഫൈൻഡ് ദിസ് എപ്പിഡെർമൽ ടിഷ്യൂസ് ത്രൂ ഔട്ട് ദ പ്ലാന്റ് ബോഡി. ഇങ്ങനെയാണ് നമ്മളെ സ്കിന്നിൽ വി ഹാവ് ദ ഔട്ടർ കവറിങ് വിച്ച് ഇസ് കോൾഡ് എ സ്കിൻ, റൈറ്റ്? സോ ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് മെയ്ഡ് അപ്പ് ഓഫ് dermal tissue. അതുപോലെ തന്നെ plant body is completely covered by an outermost covering which is called as the epidermal tissue system. Okay, so it forms the outermost covering of the whole plant body. Whole plant body എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ മൊത്തമായിട്ട് plant body എടുത്താൽ we are able to find this outermost covering as the epidermal tissue system. Okay, and what does this epidermal tissue system includes? It includes the epidermal cells. അപ്പോൾ ഈ epidermal tissue system എന്ന് പറയുന്ന outermost covering of the whole plant body. And what is this epidermal tissue system made up of? Or it includes epidermal cells. അവരിതിൽ എന്തുണ്ടാവും? epidermal cells ഉണ്ടാവും, stomata will be there, and epidermal appendages will be there. Okay, so they will have epidermis, a layer and down. So this epidermal tissue system will have the epidermal cells. Okay, they will have epidermal cells and they will have stomata in between. Okay, I hope you know what is stomata, right? So stomata and also the epidermal appendages like trichomes and hairs. Trichomes are nothing but these are hair-like structures which is seen in the upper portion of the plant body, like the stem and all. And hairs nu parayunnathu, these are seen in the root portion, like root hairs. Okay, clear with that? So what does the epidermal tissue system include? It includes epidermal cells, stomata and epidermal appendages. And these appendages are trichomes and hairs. Okay, now let us see the first part. First part is about the epidermis, right? So epidermal cells la kurichana first padikkunnathu. So it is the outermost layer of the primary plant body. Which is the outermost layer? Which is the it is the epidermis. Okay, and these epidermis are usually single layered. ഒരു layer മാത്രമാണ് ഉണ്ടാവുക. It is the outermost covering, and it is made up of elongated, compactly arranged parenchymatous cells. Okay, how is it made up of? It is made up of elongated. Elongated means കുറച്ച് നീളത്തിലുള്ള, compactly arranged. Compactly arranged means there won't be any space between one and the other cell. Okay, ഒരു epidermal cellum അടുത്ത epidermal cellum തമ്മിൽ there won't be space. So it is usually of elongated, compactly arranged parenchymatous cell. Which type of cell is making up it? It is the parenchymatous cell. I hope you remember about the simple tissue which has the parenchyma, right? So they are made up of parenchymatous cell with few cytoplasm lining the cell wall and a large vacuole. So what do they contain? They contain cytoplasm in them. And where is the cytoplasm? It is lining the cell wall. Cell wall ന്റെ അടുത്തേക്കാണ് ഈ cytoplasm കൂടുതലായിട്ട് കാണുന്നത്. And they have a large vacuole. So vacuoles are nothing but they are empty spaces inside the cell. Okay, so this is how the epidermis is arranged, and it is how it is placed in the plant body. So it is made up of elongated, compactly arranged parenchymatous cells with few cytoplasm lining the cell wall and a large vacuole. Okay, now other than that, the outside of the epidermis is often covered with a thick waxy layer which is called as cuticle. Okay, so ഈ എപ്പിഡാമസിന്റെ തൊട്ട് മുകളിൽ you can see this, right? So this is the dermal tissue cell. Dermal tissue എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് epidermal tissue cell, and you can see above that there is a thick layer. You can see this thick layer, no? So this thick layer is often seen covering the epidermis. Okay, so the outside of the epidermis is often covered by a thick waxy layer which is called as cuticle. And what is the use of this cuticle? It will prevent loss of water. Okay, plants alana vellam porthekku povanda prevent cheyan cuticle will help. And cuticles are absent in roots. Cuticle is not seen in the root part of the plant. So throughout the plant body, epidermis is the outermost layer, and there is a layer outside the epidermis which is called as cuticle, and it is absent in root. Clear? Okay, now let us move on to the next one. So children, we saw that the epidermal tissue system, it has epidermis. We saw about the epidermis. I hope you are clear with it. And the second one is the stomata. So what are these stomata? Stomatas are structures which are present in the epidermis of the leaves. So in the epidermis of the leaves, we are able to find stomata, right? So you can see the structure of stomata in between the leaves here. So this is the lower epidermis, and you can see many structures. I hope you are able to see this, right? So this is the stomata. Okay, you can see number of stomatas in the lower epidermis. Right now, so these are pores present in the epidermis of leaves, and what is the function of the stomata? It regulates transpiration and gaseous exchange. You know what is transpiration, right? So transpiration is removal of water. Learn about the structure of the stoma. So stomata is the plural form and stoma is the singular form, right? So it helps in transpiration and gaseous exchange, and this stoma, it is made up of two bean-shaped cells which are called as the guard cells, right? So this is how the bean-shaped stomata will be. Normal stomata which we see, I have rounded it, right? So normally what we draw in our notebooks, and In some cases like grasses, the guard cells are dumbbell shaped. You can see the dumbbell shaped guard cell. Okay, so this is the dumbbell shaped guard cell, and these are the bean shaped cells. I hope you remember about the bean shaped structure which we normally see. You can see in this diagram, bean shaped structure is seen there, right? You're able to see this, no? So this is bean shaped and this is dumbbell shaped. And where do we see this dumbbell shaped stomata? It is in the grasses. Okay, clear with that? Now let us move on to the next part, children. So let us see how the stomatas appear and how their layer is. So the outer wall of the guard cell, it is away from the stomatal pore, are thin, and the inner walls, that is towards the stomatal pore, are thick. അപ്പോൾ എങ്ങനെയാണ് ഈ സ്റ്റൊമാറ്റൽ പോർസ് ഉള്ളതെന്നാണ് how is the walls of the guard cells, that is what we are talking about. The outer wall of the guard cell will be away from the stomatal pore. That is outer wall എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് guard cellന്റെ the outer layer. So this one is the outermost layer, right? So this is seen away from the stomatal pore. So this is the stomatal pore. ഈ stomatal pore away എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ ദൂരെ ഉള്ളതാണ് outer wall. Okay, and how are they? They are thin. Okay, it is made up of thin cells. It will be looking thin in appearance. Okay, അത്ര കട്ടി ഉണ്ടാവില്ല. And the inner walls, that is towards the stomatal pores, are thick. Okay, so this layer will be thick and the outer layer will be thin. So this one will be thick. Okay, so I'll just show it here. You can see the inner layer will be thick. The inner wall of the stomata, that is the guard cell, will be thick and the outer wall will be thin. Clear? And guard cells will possess chloroplast and regulate the opening and closing of the stomata. Okay, what does the guard cell contain? It contains chloroplast. Like a cell, it contains other organelles also. Along with that, it has chloroplast, and along with it, it also helps in regulating the opening and closing of the stomata. Right? So they are the one who have the chloroplast and they help in opening and closing of the stomata. So their main work is to carry out this opening and closing of the stomata. Right? And sometimes some of the dermal cells surrounding the guard cell will become specialized in shape and size, and they are called as subsidiary cells. Okay, in sometimes what happens, the epidermal cells, ella plants alla chilla plants alla, we are able to find that the epidermal cells surrounding the guard cells, the guard cells na surrounding the epidermal cells na parayunnathu, they become specialized in shape and size. Okay, so they become specialized in shape and size. You can see the dumbbell shaped stomata, and near that we are able to find the subsidiary cells. So they will be, what is the subsidiary cell? Some of the epidermal cell become specialized in their shape and size and are called as subsidiary cells. Right? And stomatal aperture, guard cell and subsidiary cells together forms the stomatal apparatus. Okay, stomatal aperture na parayunnathu stomata, the inner pore, then guard cell and the subsidiary cell together form the stomatal apparatus. Okay, clear with this, children? Okay, now let us move on to the next one. Now let us learn about a few great works of Camillo Golgi, who first described Golgi Apparatus, right? So Camillo Golgi was born at Corteno near Brescia in 1843. So these are all places in Italy, and he studied medicine at the University of Pavia, and after graduating in 1865 he continued to work in Pavia at the hospital of St. Matthew. Okay, so he is a person who studied medicine. Okay, doctor avan vandi padichadana, and he graduated from there and he started working in a hospital which is called as St. Matthew. And at that time most of his investigations were concerned with the nervous system. So he had done many researches about the nervous system. Okay, and in 1872 he accepted the post of chief medical officer at the hospital for the chronically sick at Abbiatigrasso. Okay, Abbiatigrasso എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഒരു പ്ലേസിൽ ഈ ചീഫ് മെഡിക്കൽ ഓഫീസറായിട്ട് he took the post, and this hospital was chronically ill, right, for chronically ill patients at the place called as Abbiatigrasso. right? And he first started his investigation into the nervous system. Again he started investigating into the nervous system in a little kitchen of this hospital. Appa aa hospital ne oru cheriya kitchen lana avare investigation nadannondirunnu. Investigation means nothing but the research about the nervous system. Oh, okay. And then he converted this kitchen into a laboratory. Okay, so later he converted it into a laboratory. However, the work of greatest importance which Golgi carried out was a revolutionary method of staining individual nerve and cell structure. He did many, he researched in this nervous system and all, but his greatest importance was for the work which he carried out for the staining the individual nerve and cell structure. Oru nerve cell structures നമ്മുടെ സെൽ എങ്ങനെയാണെന്നുള്ള സ്ട്രക്ചേഴ്സിനെയും സ്റ്റെയിൻ ചെയ്ത് നോക്കാൻ. സ്റ്റെയിൻ, it is a process through which we can observe it under the microscope, right? So he was very famous for that. He did a revolution by finding out a staining method to stain individual nerve. ഓരോ nerve cellനെ stain ചെയ്ത് നോക്കാനും അതുപോലെ തന്നെ cell structuresനെ പഠിക്കാനും he came up with a method, and this method is referred to as the black reaction. And what he did was, in this method, he uses a weak solution of silver nitrate and is particularly valuable in tracing the processes and most delicate ramifications of cell. Okay, ramifications എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് കോംപ്ലക്സ് ആണ്. കോംപ്ലക്സ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള സെൽസിനെ കുറിച്ച് പോലും നമുക്ക് ഇതിനെക്കുറിച്ച് using this we can learn. So it is a black reaction, and what did he use? He used a weak solution. Okay, and what was that weak solution? It was silver nitrate. It is a chemical, right? And is particularly valuable. And why is it used? This black reaction, it is used to help in tracing the processes and most delicate ramifications of the cell. ഓക്കെ, എത്ര ഡെലിക്കേറ്റ് ആയിട്ട് സ്ട്രക്ചേഴ്സ് ആയാലും കോംപ്ലക്സ് സെൽസ് ആയാലും എല്ലാത്തിനെയും കുറിച്ച് നമുക്ക് ട്രേസ് ചെയ്ത് അതിനെക്കുറിച്ച് കണ്ട് പഠിക്കാൻ ദിസ് staining technique had helped him. This black reaction helped him to find that. And all through his life he continued to work on these lines. അപ്പോൾ കംപ്ലീറ്റ് ആയിട്ട് അവർ ഈ nervous system അതിനെക്കുറിച്ചുള്ള കാര്യങ്ങൾ തന്നെയാണ് he was working, modifying and improving this technique. So he started modifying the technique. Black reactions pala tarathil change ചെയ്തു നോക്കി, and he started improving this technique. And Golgi received the highest honors and awards in recognition of his work. And as he did many discoveries and as he found many things, he was awarded highest honors and awards in the recognition of his work. അവർ ചെയ്ത വർക്കിന് വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് he was given many honors and awards. And he shared the Nobel Prize. He got Nobel Prize in the year 1106 with Santiago Ramon Sagel for their work on the structure of the nervous system. Okay, why did he get Nobel Prize? He got Nobel Prize due to working on the structure of the nervous system. ഒരു nervous systemന്റെ രൂപം എങ്ങനെയാണ് ഉണ്ടാവുക എന്നുള്ളത് ഇവർ വർക്ക് ചെയ്ത് കണ്ടുപിടിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് he got a Nobel Prize for that, right? So he shared the Nobel Prize. It means that two people were given this Nobel Prize. ഒരാൾക്ക് മാത്രമല്ലാണ്ട് ഗോൾഗിനും അതിൻ്റെ കൂടെ തന്നെ സാന്റിയാഗോ റമോണി കാജൽ എന്ന് പറയുന്ന പേഴ്സണും they shared their Nobel Prize, right? So it was for the work on the structure of the nervous system. Clear, children? Okay, children, please read your textbook properly. If you have any doubts, you can ask to me. Om Namah Shivaya. Thank you.